Why is Venus spinning in the wrong direction? Welcome to Wondersleep. Of course, there is no such thing as wrong in nature, but Venus is spinning differently to the rest of the solar system, clockwise. The Sun and the rest of the planets are spinning in an anti-clockwise direction, with the exception of Uranus, which is lying on its side. No one knows why Venus has this retrograde rotation. Was it originally going anti-clockwise and then was it hit by an asteroid causing it to change its spin? Or did it flip upside down? Or did its thick atmosphere and core cause the reversal of its spin? Here's the thing. The understanding and exploration of Venus has been a lesson in humility, time and time again, starting with the ancient humans. Many cultures didn't know that the morning and evening stars were actually one entity. And it's not even a star, it's a planet, Venus. The reason that it was thought to be two is because of its specific location compared to the Sun and us on Earth. When Venus is east of the Earth, it will rise before the Sun, being visible until the Sun's bright light obscures it in the day. This is the morning star. Now fast forward a few months, and Venus is west of the Earth. The Sun will rise before Venus, and you will not see Venus until the Sun sets in the evening. This is the evening star. We had often wondered what was below those thick clouds of Venus. Many people had predicted diverse and abundant life. So, we tried to get to Venus. Our first attempt was Sputnik 7, and the mission was a failure. So we tried again with Venera 1, and we failed again. For some historical context, this is around the time that Yuri Gagarin became the first man in space. And we tried to get to Venus again with Mariner 1. Another failure. Specifically because of an overbar, or rather, a lack of one. It was missed out in a handwritten transcription in the program spec for the guidance system. When this was picked up by the wider public, the overbar was mistaken for a hyphen. Arthur C. Clarke dubbed it the most expensive hyphen in history. And, in our typical human way, we tried to get to Venus again. And failed again. Things were not looking good. But finally, with Mariner 2, we made it. And this mission confirmed that Venus has the hottest temperatures of all the planets, hot enough to even melt lead. And then we kept trying to go back to Venus with a mixture of failures and successes, the latter becoming more frequent as time went on. But the surface of Venus is not a hospitable place. It is so hostile that when the first lander touched down and transmitted any information back, it only lasted for 23 minutes. And then, Venera 9 landed on the surface of Venus, and for the first time ever, we had a picture from the surface of an alien world. We did have to wait for Venera 13 to give us our first colour photo. And we soon realised that life wouldn't be on Venus. Acid rain, hurricane-like weather, runaway greenhouse temperatures. In the past, however, it probably wasn't as hostile. It could have hosted life, and it could still be there today. Dark streaks in the atmosphere which absorb UV have been observed, and could this be a sign of microbial life? Many sci-fi authors and scriptwriters have portrayed what Venus life might look like, especially so before the hostile environment was discovered. And what would we call this life from Venus? The planet is named for the Roman goddess of beauty, who was born of sea foam. So, like for the god Mars using the descriptor Martian, Should it be Venus into Venerian? This was thought too similar to venereal, as in venereal diseases. So we thought about Venus's Greek equivalent, Aphrodite. Well, that becomes aphrodisial, once again too similar to another word, aphrodisiac. So, instead, since Aphrodite was born at the Greek island of Cythera, Cytherean was adopted for a long time until it fell out of fashion, and now we use the word Venusian. Many Venusian surface features were named after famous women. A very similar trend was also adopted for women depicted in works of art to be named Venus. For example, the Venus de Milo. We're not actually sure that it is a depiction of Venus. Similarly, with Venus figurines, we know for a fact that they predate the myth of Venus by thousands of years. And what about the Venus flytrap? Well, in truth, it is because it resembles the female genitals. This leads me onto the story of Carl Linnaeus, known as the father of taxonomy. Before Linnaeus, there were no set rules for naming a species, and this could lead to some very short or some very long species names. He invented a new way of classifying all of life, binomial nomenclature. Every plant, animal and bacteria had a two-part name, made up of its genus and its species. He also coined the words Mammalia and primate. But his genius was truly seen when he included Homo sapiens in the order of the primates. There is a story of Carl Linnaeus meeting the mayor of Hamburg. The mayor showed him his hydra, the mythical creature with 7 heads. Of course, no such thing exists or has ever existed. Linnaeus was quickly able to work out it was a composite of other animals, jaws and paws of weasels, skins of snakes. So Linnaeus told the whole city in order to stop the mayor from selling it at an extortionate price. The mayor surprisingly did not take this well, and Linnaeus had to flee Hamburg. Outside of biology, Carl Linnaeus was responsible for inverting the Celsius scale. When Anders Celsius had originally invented the scale, he used 0 degrees for the boiling point of water and 100 degrees for the freezing point of water. And when Linnaeus was told about the Venus flytrap, he simply couldn't believe it. It went against all the current understanding of organisms at that time. Plants and animals were considered to have very distinct properties. But here was a plant displaying a carnivorous, animal-like feature. Linnaeus thought possibly the Venus flytrap houses the insects to keep them safe. Linnaeus was wrong. Very wrong. Being a genius does not stop you from being wrong. And that's okay. We were wrong about the morning and evening stars. We were wrong about Venus's environment. We were wrong about life on Venus. We were wrong when our rockets didn't make it to Venus. And that's okay. It keeps us humble. The important thing is that we didn't give up, and we became the primates that saw another world.